Welcome back, hosts. Have a great show.
You see that black boy over there running scared. His old man in a bottle. He done quit his 9 to 5. He take full time. Now he's living in a bottle. See that black boy over there running scared. His old man got a problem.
And it's bad.
And don't you think it's a crime?
People in the battle. Yeah, see. Okay. Welcome to the Reality Check with Charles Butler. We are sitting here doing our thing here at Red State Talk Radio. Sitting here doing our thing. It's been an interesting weekend. President has been dealing with that crazy media. It's amazing how many people are commenting about the president's health who have absolutely no clue, no access to the president. Absolutely none. And they're, well, you know, the president, he's sick and he really should be hibernating and he's endangering all the people that he comes around because the Secret Service has said that. I mean, these people aren't even part of anything. They don't know anything. They don't have access to any more information than you and I. Seriously. And these doctors haven't vetted the president. They haven't examined the president. And they're making all these comments. Oh my God, he's so old and he's so tired, and he has this treatment. And really, I mean, people are actually glad that Donald Trump has this coronavirus thing. They're actually happy. They say that the coronavirus upends the GOP's plans for a speedy confirmation. No, it hasn't. Mitch McConnell and the boys have said, you know what? If we have to do it via Zoom, we're going to get this done before the election. Oh God, it is amazing what is going on. It's like, well, the confirmation process needs to be stopped right now because, we don't have a normal opportunity to vet the Supreme Court nominee. I learned something interesting about this Supreme Court nominee over the weekend. A good buddy of mine had a case that went before the appellate court here in Chicago, before the sixth appellate district, the one that Amy Coney Barrett is in front of. Now, check this out. She, Amy, whatever her name is, Barrett, she wrote an opinion, major opinion on my friend. And he was basically accused of doing something, taking money. And he hadn't taken any money. And the prosecutors lied on him. And they fabricated a case. They perjured themselves, right? Amy Barrett acknowledged in her opinion that even though the prosecutors lied, they weren't going to overturn his conviction. Now, this guy served time. He served time for a lie. Prosecutors lied on him. Black man. Worked for a guy named Todd Strozier, who was president of Cook County. He was Cook County president. Black man. And my friend wouldn't lie and say that Todd had taken money or he knew that Todd. He said, I don't know anything about that. He was innocent. And he was convicted because of the power of the federal government and the power of any government, whether it's state or local. When they come after you, you're in trouble, man. And the only way that people can fight back is to go outside of the system, because the system's jerry-rigged for you to lose. So that's why people are talking about taking up arms and vigilante groups and militant groups and storing ammunition. Because there are those of us, and I include myself in this, who refuse to allow this country to become a cesspool, to allow this country to become Sodom and Gomorrah. We refuse to allow this country to be taken over by some dumb, liberal, Marxist, socialist, communist buffoons with their debaucherous agendas, for lack of a better term. Hey, man. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm trying to pull up some of these videos. You have these videos, and you try to look for videos to support the topic that you're talking about. And today, I'm just going to tell you down this guy truth. I ran out of time because I was doing 4 or 5 things at the same time. So, given that, the search is for Donald Trump. And you look at Donald Trump and COVID, okay? And people are like, oh, he has COVID. Oh, my God, he's COVID update. Oh, my. I mean, it is ridiculous what is going on. These COVID interviews, they're horrible. So the president he went outside and I guess they had a TV on and he saw some of his supporters outside wishing him well. And Mr. President, get well. We love you. And he went out and waved to him, man. He jumped in the truck, in the SUV, and he went out with, hey, I'm okay. I'm still here, regardless of what you hear from CNN, MSNBC, that I'm incapacitated and we need to initiate the 25th Amendment where I transfer power. Yeah, they'd love for Donald Trump to transfer power. Not going to happen. I tell you, people, if you don't get out here and vote for Donald Trump, and don't do it, like I told a buddy of mine this weekend, don't do it via email. Mail-in ballot. You get your butt to the poll and make sure. Illinois doesn't make any difference because Cook County is a Democrat county. And as Cook County goes, the rest of the state goes because Cook County is so damn big. Cook County, Will County. If you win those two counties, the rest of the state is red. You can look at it on any voting chart. Rest of the state's red, Cook County, Will County, and Will County gets purple. But basically, if you win Cook County, you can win the electoral votes of Illinois. Bottom line, it's a true story. No punches pulled. So they talk about the biggest takeaways of President Trump's coronavirus, and I have friends who hate the president who are just gloating. They're just gloating that the fact that the president has this virus is, oh my, he's so stupid. He didn't take it. Well, there are a lot of people who took it serious and they wore their mask all the time. They still caught coronavirus. Okay, so they have this hot spot that's going on in Washington D.C. and it's too bad, but hey, it is what it is. Kellyanne Conway's daughter, she needs her behind whipped, the little 15-year-old. And I don't know when Kellyanne Conway is going to snatch this little chick in her collar and tell her to shut the hell up. She's the one who released that Kellyanne Conway was infected. She has 1 million followers. She wants to be emancipated. What she and her husband should do is emancipate her. Kick her out. She wants emancipation, let her go. Boom. Put her out there. You don't have to take care of her. She's emancipated. She's no longer a minor. She's not your responsibility. So who's going to take care of her? Some rich white dude who's going to sneak in the bedroom and try to tap that behind or have her on her knees, performing all kind of sex acts because she has no money and she has no way to support herself. But she wants to be emancipated. I want to be emancipated from my parents. My parents were just horrible. God, I tell you, some of these people, and they don't get it. They try to be too good a parents, So what's her name? Claudia. She's a cutie pie. Claudia. She's a cutie pie. I like Claudia. I think she's a cutie. But she busted her mom out for having corona. And it's not right. It's not right. So, they're talking about the response to diagnosis that Kellyanne is infected. So let's go back, and I want to play a little bit of this for you because it's interesting. And this is how Fox decided to cover it. Let's see here.
After penning a Twitter announcement stating that she tested positive for COVID-19, former White House counselor Kellyanne Conway received mixed reactions from the public about her diagnosis. The serious backlash from her critics outweighed the prayers from her supporters due to her earlier statements in regards to the virus. One anti-Conway user tweeted, "Trump got the virus, and I was like, man, I just don't think I could possibly have any lessons to give." Then Kellyanne Conway tested positive. In August 2020, presidential candidate Joe Biden's call for an enforced mask mandate. Conway, on an episode of Fox's The Story, posed the rhetorical question: somebody who's been in Washington for the last 47 years, and in this building, is President for 8, the best he can come up with is the national mask mandate. Okay, that's it. And Conway is, as of this post, one of 25 politicians, journalists, and staff members who attended the Rose Garden event or the first presidential debate. That is not the only bombshell facing the former Trump advisor. Aside from dealing with mockery from her critics, Conway's daughter, Claudia, is not too sympathetic about her diagnosis. Here's why. Claudia Conway's response to her mother's COVID-19 diagnosis has people talking. Before Kellyanne Conway could publicly announce her positive test results, her daughter Claudia Conway revealed the results in a TikTok video captioned, "Bye, I'm done. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks." In a series of videos, Claudia slammed her mother for not following COVID-19 protocol and encouraged her followers to vote in the 2020 presidential election. In one video, she wrote, "I'm furious. Wear your masks. Don't listen to our idiot president message. Protect yourselves and those around you." Claudia continued her rant in the comment section of her videos, revealing that her mother lied about her test results. She also lied to me today and said her test was negative, when it literally wasn't, and I spent all day around her. She added, "We'll be spending my birthday in quarantine." Although Kellyanne's tweet only listed mild symptoms, Claudia posted a video a day prior to the announcement, insisting that her mother was coughing constantly throughout their home. Claudia, Kellyanne's eldest daughter, is known for publicly speaking out against her mother's politics. The self-dubbed radical agnostic liberal leftist is a vocal supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Well, you get the picture. You get the idea. That Claudia needs her butt spanked. She's a cute little girl, though. Damn. But I still tear that ass up, man. I mean, she needs to be spanked. That's the problem. She going out, busting out her mom, talking, and using such foul language. What happened to girls being girls? What happened to these young ladies being ladies? I see you guys out there tweeting. Let's see. Cynthia Latson, she says, "Hi, hey, it's Sin. Baltimore to Holland, New Jack. Good afternoon. Hey, good afternoon. B-Mo. Who else is out here? Robert watches. Hey, what's up, baby? See here. So good morning to all my YouTube watchers there. Appreciate you. You can always call in. And that's 215-867-8255. Yeah, 215-867-8255. I'll go out there and check from time to time and see who's out there in the queue. Okay, so Kellyanne, I'm out. Okay, man. All right. So Donald, we know that they're trying some experimental drugs on the president, and for full disclosure, I'm taking the hydrochloroquine and zinc myself once a week now. When I had pneumonia, I took it for 5 days, and then I transitioned. So just for what do you call it? Full disclosure, I am on a COVID-19 regimen. And no, I am not taking any company, even though I have a little company who wants to come keep me company, and I would love to see them. But I don't know who they've been seeing. So I'm going to stay right here by myself. And it's just like old age used to be. I decided that I was going to stop running the streets and being a playboy because AIDS would take me out. So I, cut that junk out. Speaking of playboy, speaking of being out there playing, Karen McDougal, former Playboy playmate, says she's been forgiven by Jesus for her alleged Trump affair. Doesn't that sound salacious? Yeah. So Karen McDougal said that she's been forgiven by Jesus. Well, Karen, come here. I got to put my hands on you and let you forgive. I guess you give you a little forgiveness. So she says she regrets taking $150,000 in hush money instead of telling her story sooner. But you told it anyway. Did you get the money back? Karen, the question is, did you give the $150,000 back? The answer is absolutely not. So she said, I just wish I'd come clean in the beginning. Let it out and kind of relaxed after that because it was kind of nightmare for a minute. This is her word. It was kind of a nightmare for a while. And in every sense of the word, from A to Z, it was a flat out nightmare. You didn't think that when you were underneath Trump, did you? Or on top of Trump or whatever you guys were doing. She goes on to say, that she had an affair with Donald Trump from '06 to '07 that lasted 10 months. President denied it. She said, I knew it was wrong. It was a sin in God's eyes. And yes, I repented. Yeah. Well, Karen, you can come have an affair with me. I won't tell. I won't tell anyone. But I sure don't have $150,000 to give you, girl. Don't have it. So Michael Cohen admitted that he paid Karen McDonald $150,000 in concert for her keeping quiet. Interesting. But hey, these people do what they do when they want, and they walk away. You know what I'm saying? So, what I want to focus on is the fact that Putin sent his salutation to the president. Hope that he gets well. President Xi did so also. What we have to focus on here is that Trump is probably the greatest president that we've had in the last 30 years. He's certainly the best president that I've ever witnessed in my lifetime, and that includes Reagan. This is a man who has gone out and fought for the American people, not for anyone else. He's fought for the American people. The Supreme Court, oh God, I can't wait to take up these issues of same-sex marriage and abortion, and the list goes on, because we have the court again. Finally, someone will interpret the law. What did the American people say? DOMA, marriage is between a man and a woman. The Supreme Court overturned it. They can't do that. So Clarence Thomas and Justice Alito, and I love both of these guys. I love them to death. They're going to take up the Oglberfeld versus Hodges Supreme Court case that mandated that all states recognize same-sex marriages. And what they're saying that there's nowhere in the text that of the Constitution that's found, and it threatens religious liberty for many Americans who believe that marriage is a sacred institution between one man and one woman. You understand? Between one man and one woman. What are we governed by in America? What has made America great? You guys are kind of reciting back to me from time to time, and that's one set of laws, the Constitution, one currency, the dollar, the Judeo-Christian religion, primarily the Christian religion, and the fact that we're all Americans. We have this thing called Americana. We left behind the old country. We left behind Africa. We left behind Europe. We left behind Asia. We all became Americans with a hyphen. And that's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of that hyphen is always one thing: American. That's why you had Japanese Americans who fought valiantly and were the most decorated combat veterans in World War II. That's why you've had Asians who fought in Vietnam against other Asians, because they were Americans. That's why you had Europeans fighting against other Europeans who were German and Italian here in America, who were fighting against other Europeans who were German and Italian, because what? They were Americans, hyphenated. German American, Italian American, Black American. That's why you have blacks who were killed. And you saw a black guy about 3 months ago when those special ops guys got killed down there, I think in Chad. And we didn't know these dumbass congressmen, we didn't know we had troops. You shouldn't know with your dumbass, because you tell everything. It's like Dianne Feinstein. She's sitting there telling everything she knows before a communist spy drove around for 25 years. And she's in her car talking because she's just so trusting of her driver. Dianne Feinstein somebody needs to punch that chick out. I'm serious. She needs to be punched out, because see, some people don't get it. They think they're above being, and see, and it has to be that threat of violence. It has to be that threat of you getting your behind whipped for you to do the right thing. Liberals tend to be like that. Radical leftists tend to be like that. That's why those 3 men got shot by Rustin House up there in Kenosha. One guy, this kid had rendered aid to a protester that was hurt. They threatened him. He gets up. He starts running. The guy runs up, hit him in the back of the head with the edge of a skateboard, knocks him down. Boom. Kid turns around. Guy's coming at him with a Glock. He shoots at him, shoots his bicep off. And you see the bicep, sorry for laughing, but you see the bicep kind of fly off, you know. This guy actually thought that he was going to attack this young man without any repercussions. This young man was not going to protect himself. You heard of the police capitulating to criminals. Black Lives Matter. I can talk about Black Lives Matter. I can talk about the real Black Lives Matter, and it's not the Black Lives Matter Foundation, which is funded by God knows who. I would say George. The question is, why is Soros still in this country? That becomes a question. And you know what the answer is? Because he's donated to so many campaigns. He's bought off so many politicians. Just like Rupert Murdoch. How does Murdoch get the laws changed and buys a TV network or a newspaper in America when the laws clearly stated that if you were not a citizen of the United States of America, you could not own a newspaper, television, or radio station? Oh man, he bought off the damn politicians because they're worthless. They're no good, but there's no accountability. The only accountability is voting people out, and people are too stupid to even know what these people are voting on or have voted on. Got Joe Biden talking about running around taking away everyone's guns, and when he does it, people go, "Well, I didn't know he said that. I wouldn't have voted for him if I had known he was going to take my gun." You know, wake up, people. Joe Biden has said, "I'm going to take your guns," and so now you cannot find a gun. They have made a run on guns, and this is in the paper, not on the internet. Talking about Joe Biden plans to end gun violence. Please, how? You're not going to do it taking my damn gun away. They say Joe Biden's gun control plan is terrible for working class firearm owners. No question. Fact checking Joe Biden's recent comments. This guy, I hate the guy. I mean, I hate the guy. I don't dislike him. And you know, I've had pictures with Joe Biden. Seriously. I have pictures with Joe Biden. And, you know, I've met Joe Biden. I've known because of some friends of mine who work for him. The guy is a loser. He's a loser. And, you know, he talks about taking away your guns. And he's very serious about that. Listen to this.
Congress has not been able to pass major gun legislation in a quarter of a century. Just think about this. In those 25 years, we've had Columbine. I want to start with you. Why should anyone have faith that you're the one who can get this done? Because I'm the only one who ever got this. I beat the NRA twice. I got assault weapons banned. I got magazines. I could not hold more than 10 rounds. We got them eliminated. Except we had a thing called election with hanging chads in Florida. I passed the Brady bill with waiting periods. I led that fight. But my friend and my right and others have, in fact, also get into the gun manufacturers. Absolutely. I stood here and said,
wow, that's what Joe Biden tries to take credit for that. I mean, really, Joe, you gonna take credit for that? Okay, guys, what do you say there? Baltimore. Let's see here. Hey. Mr. Butler's getting a dose of reality. What the heck? Please give us only a moral society again. Okay, did I say that? That's what something at Charles Butler. Yeah, I did say that, I guess. Joe Biden thinks the guns are violent. I don't know an inanimate object could be violent. Laughing out loud. Yeah, it's true. But Joe said, "Hey, I'm gonna take away your gun." People are running literally this weekend when after the president got coronavirus, and people thought that maybe the polls and the votes were slipping away. I mean, there has been a run. There has been a run to the gun stores. People are buying everything that shoots. The best thing that happened for gun manufacturers was Obama Biden, okay? Because people went out and they bought all kinds of stuff. I went out and bought all kinds of stuff. You know, hey, man, it is what it is. And you can't make this stuff up. That's the great thing about it. And, I mean, gun owners said, hey, we have to protect ourselves. The government, can you imagine being in these riot zones without any protection? Can you imagine these streets without any protection? Let me just give you an example of what's going on here in Chicago. Chicago is a very interesting city. So I'm going to put in my search engine, Hyde Park, Kenwood, carjackings. Okay. Now, there's been a lot of mentioned in the paper in the last few days about Kenwood and Hyde Park carjackings. Now, the reason I bring this up is because this is an area that is known to be liberal. It's been liberal since the 40s and 50s. It was one of the first truly integrated communities or neighborhoods in Chicago. It's truly an integrated neighborhood. Hyde Park, Kenwood. It's where the University of Chicago is. And it's where Barack Obama has a home. It's where my ex-wife and I used to live. So these guys, these people are carjacking. And I mean, man, they are not playing around. And this paper like 2 days ago. And I have a buddy who lives in this area. I have a buddy, and he was very clear. He was like, hey, Charles, help me out. So the full story is this. And this was done by Fox 32, our Fox affiliate here. Okay. So this is a great neighborhood, Kenwood, Hyde Park. I told you, Barack lives in Kenwood, block around the corner from me. Big homes, a lot of very wealthy people live there, upscale people live there, upper income people live there. And then you have the mixed housing that they've, tried to bring poor people in and show them a better way of life. And let me tell you this about that mixed income living. You can't leave nothing out in the backyard. You can't leave anything that's unchained, like patio set stuff. You got to put chains on that stuff. It will disappear. Okay. Don't leave your garage door up. Just forget. They will go in there like locusts and take everything out. I know. I experienced it. I experienced it firsthand. Yes. So they say this. This is a true story. And this was released a couple of weeks ago. Police are warning residents in Kenwood and Hyde Park of a series of armed carjackings reported this week on the South Side. In each case, the suspect approached women as they were sitting or walking to their vehicles, displayed a gun, and took their car keys. This is the article, okay? So these carjackings took place at 5:30 p.m. Sun's still up. Tuesday in the 1500 block of Drexel, which is about 15. It's about 2 blocks from Barack, 2 blocks at the most from Barack's house. Then they said another happened 15 minutes later at the 800 block of East 53rd Street. That's about 3 blocks from Barack's house. Then a suspect described as 25 years old, 6 feet, 185 pounds, black hair. He goes and robs a person on what was it, 52nd and Blackstone, 52nd and Blackstone. that's 2 blocks from Barack's house. So all of these incidents are happening in, it's like Beverly Hills. That would be like if these things were happening in Beverly Hills. Okay. It's bad. It's real bad. And it's bad because these people actually think they can get away with that. Well, they can over people refuse to carry. Now, I have friends who in the past did not believe or, getting their Ford cards or concealed carry. Now they're interested. Okay. Now they're interested. I want to get back to, and I really hadn't gotten away from the Supreme Court showdown. The Senate GOP is pushing ahead with Bartlett's hearing, and people can't stand it. They're like, why are we doing this? We have to. No, we don't have to stop. There's no reason to stop the hearings. Refer to the court. I want the court to go left. And granted, I don't agree with the total right. I mean, I want the court to go right, left. I want the court to go right. And, I don't agree with all of the right-wing agenda. It'll never get me to admit that or to even think that, because I can't. I mean, they're out there in some cases. But what I will say is that we need to pick up the pace, and we need to support our senators. My two senators, Duckworth and Dirty Dick Durbin, DQ, they're against the nomination process, of course, especially Durbin. He sits on the Judiciary Committee. So he's definitely against it. Let's see who. Biden thinks that guns are violent. Yeah, okay, you haven't put anything new up. Okay, so Joe Biden thinks that things are going to be, and Trump went in the hospital. They jumped all over this opportunity. Oh, we need to stop the nomination. The nomination announcement in the Rose Garden was the worst thing that ever happened. It's the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak. White House, which it probably was. No joke, probably was. However, we're still going to get it confirmed. And they said a number of people refused to meet with her because she had the coronavirus. She was at the Rose Garden without a mask, which is not true. She had on a mask. She took it off when she spoke accepted the nomination. And she's good. She's a good lady. I like her. I can tell you that. So coronavirus, is it shaping the election? Are people going to really care about what's happening with Donald Trump and this coronavirus? He's getting out of the hospital, by the way, at 6:30 today. He's going to leave Walter Reed at 6:30 Eastern time, 5:30 my time. So that should be interesting. That should be interesting because, people do not want the president to be successful. They don't want the president to get out here and do what needs to be done, which is to kick people in the butt, kick Russia in the butt, kick China in the butt. If it weren't for Donald Trump, we'd be a second-tier, second-rate country. Totally. Let's talk about the people who tested positive that were around the president. And I'm going to run through a litany of these folks here in a minute. Here we go. So you have Donald Trump who tested positive. You have Melania, Hope Hicks. Oh man, you're talking about a good-looking girl. That Hope Hicks, Lord have mercy. Whoever marries her, he's gonna have a good-looking woman. I don't know anything about her personally, but I can tell you one thing: on the outside, she's a good-looking woman. Okay, what is that? That's the Fox News alert. Then you have Nicholas Luna. You have Rhonda McDougal, chairman of RNC. You got Mike Lee, senator from Utah. You got Thorne Tillis, Bill Chapman. You got Kelly McNally. You got Chris Christie, and John Jenkins, Kellyanne Conway. And then let's talk about the people who tested negative. You got Mark Meadows, who's the chief of staff for the president. You got Jill Biden. She tested negative. Joe Biden tested negative. And Coney Barrett, she tested negative. Jared Kushner tested negative. Ivanka tested negative. Karen Pence and Mike Pence tested negative. And these are people who've been around the president. And they were in the Rose Garden also. So God, just watch over them. Don't let them come down with coronavirus, because if they do, they'll want to close the country. We need to close the country. Oh my God. They're going to infect the whole country if they come on TV. Yeah, they're going to infect the country, all right. But the president is going to leave Walter Reed 5:30 today and get back to work. They said that the untraveled high road of humility and a president laid low by coronas. This is a headline story in the New York Times. Can you believe that? Headline story in the New York Times. President in the hospital and a nation in the dark. It's another opinion in New York Times. I mean, really? A nation in the dark. You need to be in the dark. You know, we don't need to know everything. I mean, if we had known that Eisenhower was going to invade the beaches of Normandy and that 3,000 Americans would die, would we have signed on to that as Americans? Would we have made that decision? The answer is probably not, because we're not military people. So why are we trying to get involved in all these other things that we're certainly not qualified to make judgments about? It's amazing. And I think that people in their judgment today are a lot worse than people in the old days who had more common sense than these people today. China. China is ramping up its war of words and warning the U.S. of its red lines around the world. What does that mean? How come we're not hearing about that? Let's talk about that for a minute, because it is important. You know, when we start talking about China and China on the world stage, it's not fair. They're communists. They're brutal. They're dictators. Communist China and President Xi, they're dictators by any stretch of the means. There's no president. You don't have two-party election. He's called a president, but is he president of the Communist Party? How come nobody ever really talks about that? But Mr. Xi is the president of the Communist Party. They don't have a democracy in China. And these idiots, and I'm talking about college-educated PhD types, are so stupid, they don't even understand that. That's how stupid they are. How did they get these degrees, you wonder? Okay, so they were talking about this one article I read about soldiers running through a forest and through the surf, like, you know, special ops guys and ready to die for the motherland. And this is a video that I saw, and it was you know, a little writing there. They put the video and a series of these videos in China, and it basically climaxes the launch of 9 ballistic missiles and a fiery barrage of explosions, and the chorus rings out, "If war breaks out, this is my answer." Let me just say this about the Chinese and America. You know how fireworks, how you put on a fireworks yard? You know, you put on little fireworks, you shoot the little fireworks, you know, 50 feet into the air, maybe 100 feet to the air. Boom, 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 boom. Well, that's the Chinese military compared with a 4th of July fireworks display in Washington, D.C. Big difference. Both fireworks displays, but we have real firepower, folks, let me tell you. And the president understands it. That's why Barack Obama said, well, we have so many, so we have so much. You never have, we just have too much in the military. We're going to cut back. He never said that publicly, but that's what he said privately. And that's what his policies were. And that's what he implemented time and time again as he decimated our military. And then I had fools come on my website about, well, Mr. Butler, how did Marines not have any bullets? Stupid, okay? So this Chinese propaganda is never subtle, and it's particularly pervasive, and it's bombastic. online and in the state media in these very recent weeks. The targets are China's main adversaries, the United States and Taiwan, which are moving closer and closer together. Chinese and Taiwan, we've always worked together until Bill Clinton decided he was going to take money from China, from the Chinese government, from Chinese operatives for his personal enrichment. Nobody ever really wants to talk about that, but it's true. So, I mean, Google it. 5 Chinese went to jail for donating Chinese money to Bill Clinton. Fire testing and missiles. Yeah, they're buzzing the horizon of Taiwan's airspace, but we're not worried because if they mess around and do the wrong thing with the Taiwanese, they know that Donald Trump's not playing. Now, Joe Biden, he may want to talk because he's a politician. What happened to Joe Biden taking President Trump outside to the woodpile? You remember when he said that? I'll just take him step out to the woodpile. Whatever happened to that? It didn't happen. It's not going to happen. I think Joe would get whipped to holy hell back there. Now, Secretary of State Pompeo cut short his trips to the Asia this week, although he was expected to push for confronting China when he meets in Tokyo with his counterparts from Australia, India, and Japan. It said China is already facing pressure over Taiwan and is pressing other disputed territorial claims like the South China Sea and all the way up to the Himalayas, which we always talk about China Himalayas, but India has the Himalayas too. Okay, so if China feels directly challenged on any of these fronts, Mr. Zhao may not be able to back down, having primed the public for a combative stance. Well, the publics may be primed, but they're not one. They don't want to go to war. They certainly don't want to fight for communism. That's going to be interesting. How do you fight for? That's not working for them. They say that they use clips from 2 Hollywood blockbusters, The Rock and The Hurt Locker. And the global voice of the Communist Party, the war hawks of the Communist Party, they said recently that the United States was playing with fire by supporting Taiwan, which Beijing claims is part of the unified China. Taiwanese President Zhao Ing-wen, the editorial went on, would be wiped out if she moved against China's sovereignty. See, they always try to claim self-defense. If she moved against the Chinese sovereignty, nobody's moving against their sovereignty. They're moving against the sovereignty of Taiwan. I don't think it's bluster, they say, but I don't want to think that it's just venting anger either, says the director of the China Power Project at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, who's an expert on China and Taiwan. Another sissy, another woman. See, this woman is trying to dictate. She's in a man's world, first of all. She has no idea how men think, and she has no idea how aggressive men think. These people want to go to war. Men are warriors. Women are perpetrators for the most part, who think that they're warriors. Because see, once the blood goes and the bullet parts start flying and things start blowing up, they become chicks again. Example, when I quote this, I looked up just a simple stat. How many people returned to their combat units after being wounded and they were ruled able to return to combat units? Well, for men, it was about 60%. For women, it was 0. You want me to repeat? For women, it was 0, not 0.1, not 0.001, not anything. It's like, hey, this is real. This hurts. And I don't blame them. But hey, when you're a warrior, you're a warrior. Instead of perpetrating. And like I said, that guy, Ashcroft, needs his behind whipped. When you see him out there, somebody whip his behind for me. But The Chinese are cruising for a bruising, and we are getting ready. We're getting ready for serious military confrontation with these people. In fact, the editor for the Globe Times, which is a Chinese paper, and the editor over there, a guy named Hugh Zing, he said, never underestimate Chinese people's determination to safeguard national security. Let's see, Mr. Zhao, this is after ceremony with the return of the remains of Chinese soldiers who died in South Korea. So it was regularly warning the United States that it would risk a war with China. In the latest unsubstantiated claim, he warned that Mr. Trump could launch a drone attack on Chinese bases in the South China Sea. Based on what? We could launch a lot of things in the South China Sea. But who have access to the internet, and they just they spew all this craziness out here when they don't understand that we, the United States of America, we're going to protect Taiwan, Japan, and other protectorates that we have alliances with in that area. China is our enemy, folks. Let's not be fooled. China is certainly our enemy today. So I want to say this to you in closing on this particular topic. Go out, do some research about China, where and what they're doing today, and the threats they're making against the country. See, China is so influential in this country. They have so much influence in this country. You don't even hear about this. You don't even hear that they're rattling their sword toward America. They're pointing at America saying, leave Taiwan alone. If you don't leave Taiwan alone, you will suffer the consequences of the Chinese spear. I mean, they're threatening us. Nobody says anything. Why? Because the media is bought by the Chinese. Yeah. There's a movie about going to the moon that I won't watch because the Chinese funded it and they wouldn't show the American flag. They told the movie makers they couldn't show the American flag. See, that's how greedy these people are in Hollywood. They're whores. And I have no respect for them, and neither should you. And you should teach your children that, not to have any respect for them. Hey, look, we got like 3 minutes here, and I'm going to go over here and check my folks who've been watching the show via YouTube. We're talking about. Let's see here if we can pull that up. I don't think I can. Let's see, where are they? Here we go. Here's some people down here. Let's see. Yeah, live streaming. Okay. Okay, says, okay. Knockout by POTUS with a single. I'm talking about Joe Biden. Talking about Joe Biden telling me he's going to take the president to the woodshed. Okay. Yeah, I cleared it, Baltimore. I opened it up. Moves to the basement. That's what Robert said. Robert said only the woodshed moves to the basement. That Joe Biden would take the president to the woodshed. But that's what he said he's going to do. Yeah, he's again, all talk, no action. All talk, no action. We just roll here at the Reality Check. Tomorrow we got Frank Venucio with us, of course, and we'll be talking about some items that I think are interesting and good for you. I often play this song called "Compared to What," and you guys have asked me where you go out to